Now, I do kind of want to go towards the Mets. Ben, the Mets are 3-3. Most wins the Mets have had, as we've discussed now in a couple of weeks. 1-2 versus Atlanta, 2-1 versus Seattle. They're 3-7 in their last 10. Still struggling, but on the up and up. 66-58 overall. Now, like I said before, they're 5 games back of Philly. They're 1.5 games up on Cincinnati for that third wild card. They're 3 games back of San Diego for that second, and 4 games back of Chicago for that first. Ben, are the Mets turning a corner or no?
I mean, look, you like to think that they're turning a corner, but I mean, you just never really know. I think getting that win on Sunday night against the Mariners was big because you won a series against a team that has been very hot, a team that has a great lineup, and you were able to win that game with Nolan McLean and um, Clay Holmes as your starting pitchers. Holmes only going 5, McLean going 5 2/3. So you're still not getting length out of your starting pitching because those are your 2 longest starts you've gotten this week. You're not getting length. You're they lost 2 games against, or they lost the 2 games against the Braves that they had no business losing. It's just they're not playing good baseball. They're not pitching well enough. The offense is hitting. Their Lindor has been on fire. Alonso just broke the home run record, the franchise home run record this past week. Soto has been very good. He's cooled off a bit after his scorching July, but he's still been pretty solid. So, I always say it's never as bad as it seems, it's never as good as it seems. Well, it's been pretty bad for a while now. So, hopefully things are turning around. I'm just not quite ready to say that it is, especially when you're not getting those innings out of your starting pitching.
Yeah, for sure. And at this point in the season, I do like to play a little bit of the look ahead game. And the Mets have 16, I would say, massive games left on their schedule. There's still 7 games versus the Phillies. Like, Corey mentioned, they're 5 back in the division. So obviously huge opportunities there. You have a 3-game set at Cincinnati, a 3-game set versus San Diego, and right at the end of the year, September 23rd through September 25th, a 3-game set at Chicago. There is a lot of room over the next month and a half for the Mets to control their own destiny as they are playing a lot of teams that they're competing with for playoff spots. Obviously, there's other games mixed in there, and each individual game counts the same, but getting a win while also giving those teams losses is very, very big. And I think similar to last year, what's going to carry this Mets team is the lineup. And I do think as hot as some of the players that have been cold are getting, Juan Soto at 30 home runs, Pete Alonso still who Pete Alonso is, it's very possible that the Mets get hot to end August, go into September playing some real competitive baseball, and go on a similar run to what they did last year.
And it all starts, the offense keeping it going, but the pitching, if they can start to get length from their guys, especially some of the young guys coming up. Now, on a side note, I do want to point out how funny it is that it's McLean, right? That's his name?
Yeah, Nolan McLean.
Nolan McLean, that his favorite players growing up were Bryce Harper and Chase Utley, and now he's a stud pitcher for the Mets. I do see some humor in that. But the Mets now are getting younger. You still got guys like Jonah Tong coming up. The Mets had a bunch of really great prospects go up from AA to AAA.
Brandon Sproat is the other big pitching prospect.
Jet Williams is there. Yep. There's a lot of great players. Carson Benj.
No, the farm is as good as it's been.
And it's very top heavy where the Mets are not operating at what will be their ceiling for the next 5 years. That's still yet to come because they have a lot of high-end young talent. So getting them up and getting them a taste of what a real pennant race is like is also extremely beneficial to not just this year, but the next year and the year after that. So the Mets are in a really solid spot for their future with bringing these young guys up, like putting in McLean to pitch, some big games, hopefully getting some other guys. So if they can get length out of McLean, maybe Sproat gets called up or Jonathan gets called up when the rosters expand a little bit, getting them some action in September. It's not like you need Clay Holmes to pitch. He's kind of hit a wall once he hit that innings limit. And, Kodai Senga has been a bit of a disappointment when it comes to length. If it feels like 5 innings is his max and he can't go longer, right?
Yeah, since the injury, Senga's just not been right.
Frankie Montas, I wonder who could have predicted how bad he is. I'll pat myself on the back for that one.
Good for you, Corey.
Yeah, I don't want to say I told you so, but I did.
Innings eater.
Don't lie. You wanted to say I told you so.
Oh, I absolutely did.
Innings eater. That's all that matters.
Yeah,
all that
yeah.
he is.
How many innings is he actually eating?
Like 7 for the whole season.
Exactly. That's like
huge.
So huge.
Yes, Manaea is still on the roster, but he hasn't really.
No, Manaea is one of the guys who's been rough, but
right. But
like
Manaea,
the idea is that Manaea is hopefully, getting a bit better.
Right,
Like,
Manaea is one of the guys
he's
I
been
believe
improving.
in Manaea. Right, you need to rely on him. The Mets aren't going to be able to make that magical run like they did last year if guys like Senga and Manaea and some of these younger guys step up.
Well,
Now,
they only went on that run. Like, yeah, the lineup was great, but Manaea was their starter.
Right, Manaea, Severino was pretty great for them last year.
Savvy was awesome. Quintana threw some big innings for them.
So they need some guys to step up, and we know what their offense is. We know Lindor is great. We know Alonso's great. We know Soto is Soto. We know these things. Alvarez, before he got injured, was playing very good baseball. So
you got a guy like Vientos who can go on a run at any time. We
right,
saw that last
he's
year.
another one who's
Brandon
been
Nimmo
heating
can tear the cover off the ball for a week straight if he had to. So the offense is going to produce, but you need some of these guys on the staff to really step up. You need Helsley to realize he's not the closer anymore, and he needs to be a team guy and perform in a setup role because you have a stud in Edwin Diaz. It's a mental game for a lot of these pitchers, and I believe that they can do it for the Mets, and I think the Mets could be scary in October, and we all know what seed Ben wants the Mets to be because that is the most dangerous seed in the postseason in the NL. Am I wrong?
I mean, look, last year was the first year they didn't make it all the way.
But they went pretty far.
They made it 2 games from the World Series. That's definitely true.
So the Mets by no means should ever be written off because they've demonstrated how much heart they have, but they're going to need some guys to really step it up that just haven't done it yet this year.